welcome to the Big Meer podcast. Welcome back. How you doing? We got a stacked show today, as usual. We got the homie Jay Lyric on the program. Yes, Jay Lyric. This guy's a pure artist in every sense of the word. This guy can rap, write a hell of a story, draw. He can really do anything when it comes to art. You don't want to miss his story coming soon on the podcast today. And I'm going to make fun of people who make fun of professional wrestling later on in the program. But to kick off the show, we got to talk about, I know everybody heard it already, but I got to give my piece on it. We got to talk about ShEther. We got to talk about Remy Ma's ShEther diss track against Nicki Minaj. Man, I woke up Saturday morning. I wake up, I do my usual thing, which happens to be scrolling down Facebook, seeing what ridiculousness happened this morning. And it just came out of nowhere. I didn't know they had beef. I had no clue. But I listened to it, and boy, this is one of the best diss tracks I've probably ever heard. And I know that it's just dropped. It just dropped. It's hot. But man, this right here, this ShEther is gonna live a long time in rap history, considering the level that Nicki Minaj is on right now. She is up. She is at the top of the rap game when it comes to women. And Remy Ma absolutely destroyed her. Now I'm not gonna review the whole song, but I want to take some pieces that resonated with me more than anything and talk about it for a second. So the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to ShEther, this rap, is that she used the Ether beat by Nas. We know Nas dissed Jay-Z over this same beat years ago, and it's one of the greatest it's one of the greatest rap disses of all time, to the point where ether is actually a word in our lexicon. So obviously it made history. But anyways, she used that beat. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, Rim, you got to bring it on this beat. You can't, this is something hard to follow. You're trying to follow ether by using the beat. So you got to go hard. Cool. Anyways, so the first thing she really got into was how she slept with a lot of these guys to get records and stuff, like Young Money, Cash Money, Lil Wayne, and Drake and those guys, which I felt was, over the years, was pretty blatant that she was messing with those guys, even though she made a song saying she didn't. But, I don't think anybody in actuality bought that she wasn't. Anyways, the two that surprised me, she was like, the only time you you pulled the trigger or whatever was when you slept with Trey Songz. That threw me off guard. I didn't know that happened again. Trey Songz, pretty funny on Twitter. He had his little Twitter post, and he was like, waking up to new comedy every day, even though you stay out the way, your name comes up anyways, blah, blah, blah. And Nicki Minaj got mad at Trey Songz and was like, be a real man. You supposed to say that it didn't happen. And the celebrity of Nicki Minaj came out in this post when she said, I made you 6 million plaques. And Trey Songz responded in the perfect fashion. Nicki, you should be mad at Remy Ma. Love you. And check out my new music. I felt that Trey Songz responded to this perfectly. And the one that really surprised me more than anything was when Remy Ma accused Nicki Minaj of sleeping with Ebro from the show Ebro in the Morning that come on Hot 97. That was very strange. That was very random, and I had no idea. I didn't see that coming, but I doubt that one. I don't really think that one is true. She continues to say, I saw Meek Mill at the All-Star game, and Meek Mill, who I'm not surprised, I absolutely believe that Meek Mill would drop some information to Remy Ma about Nicki Minaj. I'm pretty sure, ain't no way in hell Meek Mill is not bitter still about this. It's a fresh breakup, and immediately after they break up, like 2 days later, she taking pictures with Drake, who we all know the history between Drake and Meek Mill and stuff like that. So I'm positive that Meek Mill is still bitter about that, and I'm positive that Meek Mill will go and give Remy Ma some information so Nicki Minaj can be buried. Anyways, so of course, she get into the body thing. She talking about all the implants and all the gimmicks and stuff. And I believe that because if you look at old pictures of Nicki Minaj was not the most attractive woman in the world. She really wasn't. I'm laughing because, you know, without all the gimmicks and makeup, you can really see what Nicki Minaj looks like. All you gotta do is really go back and look at some older stuff that, some older pictures, and you'll understand what I'm saying. Anyways, so we get into the sleeping thing. We, talking about ghostwriters, how many ghostwriters she got. And one problem I always had with Nicki Minaj, right, was I always felt like she was very inconsistent with the people she kind of picked with. And she brought up how she went to the VMAs and was talking about Miley was good. And I was like, okay, it's Hannah Montana. You really don't get any credibility for bullying or picking on Hannah Montana, you know what I'm saying? And, going at Taylor Swift and all these girls that or women, I should say, that we know are not gonna do anything back to Nicki Minaj. And the last thing I want to get into about this rap was she, because Nicki Minaj on Instagram, and her response to it, she put up the album sales to Remy Ma's record with Fat Joe, Plata Plomo, or whatever it's called, and the record sales didn't do well. But I mean, it's 2017. People pirate music. Records don't sell well just in general because everybody steals music now. So I'm really, I'm really wasn't too concerned with how the record sold. It sold just about as much. If I had to guess, I'm pretty sure that's how much it would have sold anyways. But yeah, she posted the record sales, and she posted this little video of Beyonce remixing Darling Nikki and calling Nicki Minaj the rap queen or whatever. And that was really her response to Remy Ma as a whole thus far. But I just want to say something about record deals real quick. She broke down Nicki Minaj's record deal, which is very true. If people know Nicki Minaj, they know that she is signed under Young Money, Cash Money, and that's under a major label. So Nicki Minaj basically has the exact same deal as basically in like New Edition, who was signed under somebody else who was signed to the major label. So again, she broke her down. She said any videos, promotions come out of your budget, endorsement tours and merchandise, you make like 35 cents off each ducat. And then she said, I own my masters, I'm independent, so for every sale I do, you gotta do like 10. And then I was like, hey, that is the music business. But in the same token, Remy Ma's independent. She does everything on her own, and that's fine. I would much rather be independent as well, especially now with social media where you could be your own promoter. But with a major label, they got so much heavy promotion, you'll be all over the TV, you'll be all over the radio, you'll be all on the internet, rather than just hustling yourself and just you and your team going out and putting posters on walls and saying, come check us out or whatever. It seemed like the way it works is the major label basically do all the promotion for you, which means they get this huge cut. So that's legit. Nicki Minaj's money is going through 4 or 5 other people before she get to it. So I don't think that Nicki Minaj should really be bringing up record sales when all these other people and all these other companies get such a major cut of your earnings. You know what I'm saying? And another thing about the record sales is this is rap beef. This is rap beef. So we talking about who is the queen of rap right now. Is it Nicki Minaj? Is it Remy Ma? And I gotta say right now, I don't care about how many records you sold. I don't care where you going on tour. You're going to China, wherever out of the country. To me, that really doesn't, matter. We talking who is the rap queen. We talking about lyrics. We talking about who's better. We're not talking about money. We're not talking about record deals. We're not talking about album sales, merchandise sales. We're not. So to be the queen of rap, you have to rap. And from doing my research on Remy Ma recently, that seems to be all Remy Ma does. Remy Ma don't have songs like Starships. So Nicki Minaj, if you want to be the queen of rap, I say you get out there, you make a diss record, and you blow out. Simple as that. And I really didn't see too much dirt other than Remy Ma went to jail, and Paid Pooh seems like kind of a goofball. No disrespect to him, but he seemed like a pretty lame guy. But other than that, I don't really see anything Nicki Minaj can talk about. And other than I make more money than you, so it is what it is. Anyways, let's get into the next part of the segment. That's the interview with Jay Lyric, starting right now. All right, welcome everybody to the interview segment of this podcast. And I got a very, very, very special guest. I mean, this kid, one of my personal friends, a brother to me, an entertainer, a lyricist, rapper, a writer, an artist, a pure artist. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Enrico Hampton, Jay Lyric. How you doing?
What's up, man? Hey, that was the best introduction I've ever heard, ever.
Because it was about you?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so Jalen, all right, so today we just basically going to do what we always do. Just talk, have a conversation, because that's what we good at doing. So I'm going to open up with this question. Now, as a child, and we all know your father does these Michael Jackson tribute events, and they draw pretty nice crowds. Hundreds of people show up to see him. And at one point, as a child, you were in a part of the act.
Yep.
As Lil Michael. Tell me about that. Tell me a little bit of memories you had about those days back when you was a part of the performance.
Well, let's see. Well, like, ever since I was born, I was listening to, like, Michael Jackson and stuff and dancing and whatnot. And then they all noticed it, and they was like, hey, man, we should get him out here and stuff. And so I got out there, and, like, I just did what I thought was normal. I did what I did.
Right, so it was nothing different from just dancing in the living room. Like, what about stage fright? I mean, you was like 5, 6 years old as a kid up there in front of tons and people. Was it any type of stage fright or what? Like, what was
Not at all. It was just like got up there, and I just like it was like I didn't even like notice nobody like in the crowd. I was just out there just dancing, like just out there. Wasn't nothing. I was my worries wasn't on anything else. It was just on the song and the dancing. That's it.
Okay, and I like that. See, you grew up an entertainer.
Yeah.
So, like, nowadays, when you transition, we'll transition into the rap and stuff, of course, later on, but just to dab into it a little bit.
Yeah.
Transitioning later on, we know that you do poetry slams and you do open mics and all this type of stuff. Did the stage fright ever come at all for you? Were you ever nervous to get on the stage as you got older?
Yeah, I actually did. That's an interesting question. I'm gonna get to that right now. Cause like it's like this thing that I go through. Like all before I get on stage and I do it, like before I do it, I'd be all nervous and stuff. I'd be like, oh man, I can't do this, man. And like people, I'd be trying to tell myself that, oh man, you got it, man. Stop being like a little hoe, man. You got it. And then like I started thinking to myself like, yeah, I got it. But then like outside, it showed that I'm still scared. And so one event that happened, I was finna perform in front of like my whole school, a part of this like pep rally. And I was scared. I'm like, bro, I ain't never performed in front of all these people before. And like my whole school, bro. And then I was like, man, I got this. And then next thing you know, one of my friends, he was sitting right next to me. He said, bro, are you good? I'm like, why you say that? He was like, cuz you look scared as hell. Oh, what? Oh, what? I thought I was fine, bro. And so, like, I always get scared before the performance. But during the performance, I'd be feeling so relieved. And, like, I'd be like, oh, finally I can, like, get out there. Like, I won't be thinking about nothing else except for what I'm performing. And then afterwards, I'd be like, after the whole performance, I'd be feeling that,
relief.
Like, I got it all out.
See, And you see, you still hear a lot of artists go through that. Like artists, big time artists say, "I'm always nervous before the show," and mainly it's because when you're nervous about going on stage before your show, even though no matter what stage or level you at, that just means you care about what you're doing. In my
Right.
opinion, if you just went out there like, "Yeah, I got this, whatever, I do this all the time," it's like, okay, this is like not really a passion, it's more of a job now,
Right.
and you just out there doing what you're doing for the paycheck, you know.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. Because
So
I know even people like Beyonce still get scared, and she said that numerous times in interviews that she still gets scared before she go out.
right, so to sway away from the rap, because we'll get into more of that later on,
Right.
another passion you have, and this is another part of the artist coming out of you, you are a fantastic drawer.
Oh well, thank you.
So I just want to know how you got into that. Talk about the drawing. The first time, what made you want to do this? Because you do it quite often. Was it a time and point where it was like the pinpoint of like, okay, I want to do this as the consistent hobby?
All right. Well, what happened was, I grew up with a couple brothers, right, and they always drew, and watching them draw, like, and they art came out fantastic. So I'm like, bro, I want to do something like this. And so they started teaching me how to draw, and we grew up watching stuff like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, X-Men animated series, and all that. And that's just things that we would like constantly draw, and we would like just draw those all the time. And over time, I got good at it. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna just keep this around. And being a part of the art aspect, I feel like every artist looks like before they reach the final thing that they be like, oh yeah, I can express myself in this form perfectly. Every artist, like, they just look for some form, and art was that. I was looking for some type of form to express myself and stuff. And as I started to branch out, and I found, I felt that I could rap and do poetry and all that. So I'm like, oh, okay, I can do this too. But art has always stuck around. It has always still helped me express myself daily.
Now I know that you draw because I like know you personally,
Yeah.
but art drawing is one of the things you really don't express publicly like that. Why is that? I know you may post something here and there on Instagram or Twitter, a little drawing or something, but it's never really like out there like it should be, in my opinion. So why is your drawings, your art so held back?
I don't know. I feel like for my art, it's more of a me thing. Like, how can I explain it? It's like I don't want. How can I explain it? For my art, when I draw and stuff, it's more of like sentimental. Like, I want it to be kept to myself and stuff. I don't know. It's a mixture of a lot of things. One is because like insecurities and stuff. I don't think my art, my drawing is as good as other people's and whatnot. And so that kind of blocks why I don't put it out there. And then another reason is just because like I don't like for like certain things of mine to get judged. But I know that comes with being an artist, so it's something I got to overcome.
Right, and that's what I always told you because, of course, I think your stuff good. Of course, other personal friends think your stuff is nice. But,
Right.
like, when somebody criticizes your work, you personally are offended by this. And I know it's hard because we all in this media world, right? Myself and you, and we will get criticized on things we say, things we do, our work, and some people just don't like what you do. Everybody has doubters, haters, or whatever the case may be. Me, I'm pretty good with dealing with criticism. Me personally, I really don't. It really does not bother me. I've taken tons and tons of criticism. I've had tons of people say they don't like me or my work, and I've had people even make videos about how they don't like my personality or my work. So, it just comes with it. And I've also had tons and tons of people say they love my work and all this and that and the other. Of course, it just comes with the territory. So,
I think
how
also,
person?
like,
Oh, go ahead.
it's I can agree with like the people that like it and the people that hate it and whatnot. Because on those things, like throughout history, it's shown that like the negative comments always outweigh like the positive comments. Like even with like somebody could say something and like you'll respond, like you could post something and then like somebody say a whole bunch of bad, like it'd be like probably like three people who be like, oh man, that's garbage, that's garbage, that's garbage, and then like 20 people say, oh man, that's awesome, that's great and stuff. But for some reason, it's always like we as a people, not even just me or you, just like we as people, we always like gravitate towards the negative things. But I don't know.
Right. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. So you personally, when you hear criticism about your work, how does it make you feel? How do you deal with it? Because to me, when I look at it, when I look at you, when you take criticism, you seem kind of agitated.
Yeah, it's just like, cause usually the criticism comes from people who don't understand, bro. Like it comes from people who not either like who not in this media, who don't know how hard it is, who not artists. It's just people who on the internet all day, just like who live for like negative comments or whatnot. So they don't know how hard it is. That's just my whole look at it. It just makes me feel like dog, like what are you doing? I'm not here trying to like. It's complicated, man. It's
Okay.
just the trolls.
Well, has anybody who does the same thing, whether it's rapping, drawing, or writing stories, or whatever the case may be, has anybody who ever done the things that you do criticized your work in a negative way?
Not to my face. Because anytime I make something and whatnot, I always like send it to like a couple of my friends and see what they think of it or whatnot. And one of my friends, he rap too. He usually tell me because what we do is constructive, that
Yeah,
word,
constructive
right?
criticism.
Yeah, constructive criticism. We do a lot of that, bro. Like it ain't no disrespect over here. If he sends something towards me, if he sends something to me and I send something to him or whatnot, we always look at it like we never say, hey, bro, that line garbage, bro. Take that out. We be like, hey, I think you got a better one in you. You feel me? That's usually what
Right. Right. And see, you like to send me your raps, knowing I'm not the biggest rap fan at all.
But you appreciate them.
But I do respect it, and I think that's the difference. But I feel like that's a good idea to send me stuff to see if I even like it at all, if I can find any good in it, because now you giving your work to somebody with a different perspective rather than friends. Whether it's just the friends that be like, oh yeah, that's fire, or or the real friends who want to help you and actually give you constructive criticism. So how many people do you send your stuff out to as different perspectives, like people who usually don't listen to rap music, or people who don't like the conscious rap that you do?
All right, so I send I send about like two people. I send two people my lyrics, and those two people like conscious lyrics. And then I send two other people my lyrics, and they like the trap and all that stuff, right? And then I send another one person my lyrics, and she kind of likes both. Like she's in the both world. She don't really like nowadays music unless it's turning up, but she likes the 90s music especially. So I send it to about 5 people plus you. You like the only outside source of hip hop that I send it to. Like you like the only friend who don't really like listen to it that I send it to.
Okay.
And I'm hoping to like change that. But everybody I hang out with, listen to hip hop, so it's kind of hard.
Okay, so real quick, another passionate thing another thing you're passionate about, I should say, is anime.
Right.
And that's the inspiration for a lot of your drawings and stuff. So tell me how you got into anime. Was it Naruto? Because we grew up on Naruto, so I'm just gonna assume that was the first one. Maybe Dragon Ball Z came before that. Can you explain that?
It came from my brothers as well, bro. Like, without my brothers, I'd probably be a whole different person. Because all the time when we was drawing and stuff, like we was drawing those characters, Dragon Ball Z and Naruto and all of them. But I didn't start off watching anime. I was watching a whole bunch of like regular cartoons and stuff. You know, like Rugrats and Danny Phantom and all that. Like I'm a '90s kid, bro. 1999. Even though you don't think I'm a '90s kid, I'm a '90s kid, bro. And and so I slowly got into anime, but like it's cool now and whatnot. Like I started off watching Dragon Ball Z first, and yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now I watched Naruto. Then after that, I got into Samurai Champloo, Cowboy Bebop, all that.
Yeah, I remember we kind of started with the anime thing at the same time, and after we got into Dragon Ball and Naruto, it just kind of became a snowball effect, and we started getting into all these other anime shows. And of course, I fell off a long time ago. You still into it? And you just kind of like the guy that keep me kind of filled into the anime world and stuff, which is fine, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's delve into it. How did you get into rap?
Let's go. Alright, so this is gonna be a long story, alright? I'm not gonna be like a long story short now, because it needs to be heard, right? So I've always like heard it, right? But I never really like, registered as like, oh, I like this type of music, right? But it was 3 artists that I heard that I was like, bro, I might have to like look into this now, right? First artist, because my brother, he was sitting in the living room on his computer, and he was playing J. Cole, the Return to Simba, by J. Cole, and J. Cole said this one line. He was like, Cole under pressure, not what that make diamonds. You get it, J. Cole and Cole, like
yeah,
Cole under pressure, not what that make diamonds. I heard that and I'm like, what? Like, did he really just say that? And I understood it too. I'm like, alright, I'm gonna go listen to this. And so I was listening to that song for a long time. And then I had this iPod, because it was like one of the beginning iPods, because this was like 2011 or 2010, one of those years. And like I had a couple songs. And so I went over to my cousin's house one time, and I got some songs off of his computer. And that's how I got introduced into Kendrick Lamar. The first song I heard from Kendrick was on ADHD, and I'm like, bro, this song is cold. Like, I'm like, who are these people? And I'm just now getting to hear about these people. And then like a little bit of time after that, I got introduced into Drake, because it's 2011. Take Care came out. That's like his biggest album. Take Care came out, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I have to do, bro. And then like, what really draws me into music. I'm gonna get back to the rap thing in a minute, but what really draws me into music is seeing how it affect people. And so I was going to summer camp, and then I was like being at school, and I was seeing like just like a whole bunch of people just bump their music, bumping Take Care, bumping Kendrick, bumping J. Cole. They was just bumping them, right? And so I'm seeing this, and I'm like, bro, like this is like, I'm connecting with it too. And so I'm like, bro, this is awesome. And so 2012, Good Kid, Mad City came out. And I heard Mad City. That's the first song I heard off that. And I heard Mad City. I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. This is what I gotta do. And so the first rap that I had wrote that year, it was the worst rap in the world. I said, what did I say? I said something like, sitting at the table surrounded by all of the greats, Last Supper, but ain't nobody around me fake. I hate to say I'm surrounded by spirits and demons. That's just me being paranoid like Huey Freeman. I hate when people say my lyrics are demeaning. I want y'all to dig deeper to understand the meaning. Penitentiary still, you don't got to be locked up to prove that you're real. And I had wrote that in 8th grade, and I'm like, bro, this is the coldest stuff. And then people was like, well, that's whack, boy, you better get down. And so I'm like, yeah, oh well, but I was so passionate. Like, I'm like, bro, I want to get on their level. I want to get on Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake level. I want people I want my music to make people feel stuff, just like how their music made people like feel stuff, and how people was bumping their stuff. And so I'm like, yeah, I want that. And then I got to high school, and that's when I met my friend Matthew, and he got me like to structure my bars better and whatnot, because I was like writing like 32 bars for like one verse, and one verse is only supposed to have 16 bars. And so I'm like, I need to do something better. And so yeah, and then I got better, as time progressed.
All right, that's a great story, and I like the most is that you want to inspire people more
Yeah.
than just like, I want to be the best. Because usually people just like, I want to be number one, I want to be the best, I want to be the guy. You just like, I want to inspire people. Because
Right, and I want
that's
my
how
music
my
to change.
favorites got me into it, was just purely inspiration. The
Right.
ways it made you feel. Can you pinpoint certain songs, just to name a few, that that you felt really related to you personally?
Um. Uh. As of recent, well, my memory kind of bad, but as of recently, that J. Cole song "Wet Dreams." Wait, are you talking about recently, or are you talking
Just
about
in
back?
general, just in general. Yeah.
Oh, in general, J. Cole, "Wet Dreams." A lot of Drake music. 'Cause I be drinking a lot, very much. So. A lot of Drake music. For Kendrick, this song called "Average Joe." We probably don't know it, but he got this song called "Average Joe." It's a really great song. It's off of his one of his older albums. It's a lot of songs by them. It's just a lot, bro. Like Big Sean, Memories, um, Logic, Growing Pains. It's a whole bunch, man.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I want to talk about the state of rap currently today, because obviously you are very knowledgeable on that. And even I like the state of rap right now today, so I'm pretty sure you loving it. Because when I started listening to music, it was, well, rock and roll was great, and that's why I predominantly listened to rock music. At that time, it was a lot of Southern rappers coming up. The Lil Waynes, you got Jim Jones, T.I., who I actually like. Stuff like the 3-6 Mafia, Lil Jon, Soulja Boy, a lot of Southern rappers who came up with the catchy little dance songs. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I hated it. I felt that rap was the worst of all time. There was no recovery for this, because usually, with the dance rap stuff, you think it's a fad, you think it'll last like 3, 4, 5 months maybe, and then it'll be gone. The dance rap era lasted like 7 years. And I feel like it just really ended in recent memory. So when did the rap era end? 2012? 2011?
When did the what end?
The rap dance era, it
Uh,
lasted way too long. That's
yeah. I remember all that. I remember this, the whatchamacallit, the Dougie. I remember all that. Oh my god.
it was dark days. So,
Yeah.
so I would like for you to talk about the current state of rap. I know like Drake is like number one right now. Kendrick is iconic in to the youth right now. So is J. Cole, and they basically got the same fan base. So what's some other guys other than the core three? Well, what's some other guys that you feel like people should be listening to right now?
So you want me to answer that first, or the state of hip hop?
Yeah, either one.
I'm gonna do the second one first. And so I think some other guys people didn't need to listen to is King Los. Because a lot of people, they love like flow, right? They love when rappers go fast, like and stuff, right? They love when people go fast, and like he goes fast in his lyrics. He goes fast in his flow, and then his lyrics don't suffer. Because you got some rappers who like they be like, oh, maybe if I rap fast, they won't pay attention to my lyrics. But no, he not like that. He like, okay, I'm gonna rap fast, but then I'm gonna slow it down when I need to in order for y'all to get what y'all need to get out of this song. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And so another person people need to listen to is Logic. Logic. Who else is out here? Let's see. Big Sean. Big Sean doesn't get the credit he deserves because he make like party songs.
Yeah, club bangers.
Yeah, club bangers, and it's not even like club bangers. It's like, I don't know, people like to classify it as goofy music. Like I don't. People don't like that. It's songs like that and Ass with Nicki Minaj and stuff that people kind of take him out.
I feel like in the case of Big Sean, he'll sacrifice that commercial song just so people can pay for it to hear the real music that's actually on the album. But for like the video songs and stuff, he'll sacrifice it and make some little club catchy song just so he can make his money, which is not a bad strategy to be honest, financially.
But it's that same strategy that's that's got people like, no, he made good music and stuff.
Do you think he cared though?
Um, I think it's kind of like, I think it's kind of, I don't think he do. I think that it kind of like it hurts that time because people be like, so the top three and stuff, Drake, Kendrick, and Cole, but Big Sean, he got his catalog is as big as theirs. You feel me? So I feel like he should care if he don't already. But I'm not trying to tell him what he do. It's whatever.
Okay.
But other people that people should be listening to is Wale, Meek Mill. Despite what happened, he makes some good music, man. And yeah, I mean it's tons of people.
It's tons of people.
Disrespectful, but it's tons of people that people should be listening to. But then again, who am I to tell somebody what they should be listening to?
Okay, so to me, Jalen, I don't get offended by this, but it's a good thing. I think you're the perfect person. I think you're the perfect guy to find as a ghostwriter. I think you'd be the perfect ghostwriter for somebody.
That's hilarious.
Cause
funny because I've been thinking about it though. I'm like, I could write for everybody, bro.
Right, because you feel the lyrics and stuff, and I feel like you got enough stuff that you can actually pass it around.
For real.
And
like,
plus you kind of low key with a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I know.
So like people wouldn't figure out unless somebody snitched on themselves.
Yeah.
So
like
thoughts.
I think I could do it though. Like I would actually ghostwrite. Like, and I wouldn't be one of them people like, man, I wrote that song, man. You don't deserve that. Like I don't care, bro. As long as it's good music. Like,
well, as long as you get paid off of it.
Yeah, as long as, come on now. We both know that. Come on now. Yeah.
Okay.
But I feel like I'd be like a good ghostwriter.
Okay, so answer me this. We know since the Drake and Meek Mill thing happened with the ghostwriter, that really financially didn't bother Drake whatsoever. But I mean, it feel like since that happened, the respect for Drake went down a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you over the ghostwriting thing, because pure rappers like DMX and pure lyricists like my own favorite Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day say, if you have a ghostwriter, if you don't write your own lyrics, you are not an artist, like, period. Me personally, I think that's kind of hard. I don't really agree with that. I think it's kind of hard because, it's a team effort. Like, you got your writer and then you got the performer,
I feel like I don't think Drake's respect has gone down after the I don't think the respect for Drake has gone down after the alleged ghostwriters, because it's like I don't know, it's people, even online, people be like, I don't care, his music is good. Like, why should we care? His music still comes out good.
See, but those the Drake heads, I'm talking about the purist.
I don't know. I think it's also proven that Drake, we already know Drake can rap. We know Drake can rap. We know he can rap, bro. So I don't know why, like, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know, man. I ain't got the answers this way. I don't. I mean, I think we know Drake can rap.
But I'm saying, do you think people are a little too hard on artists or performers, I should say, with ghostwriters?
A little bit. I don't know, because it's like, I was watching this interview recently, and Hobson was talking about, like, he don't know, like, we don't know what it feels like to be that big as Drake and stuff. Like, we don't know what that feels like, we don't know what that feels like. So we might need, like, some help or whatnot. We don't know what it feels like. He's the biggest rapper right now. Like, no lie.
Okay, so point is, you don't think it's a bad thing to have a ghostwriter?
No. I mean, I personally wouldn't have one, but I don't think we should, like, judge somebody's whole career solely based off that.
Right, and plus having a ghostwriter is like, it always had like a negative connotation to it, right, for some reason, which isn't always a bad thing. Having a ghostwriter is not always a bad thing, in my opinion. If you are a performer and you have a ghostwriter, that's fine.
Right.
I don't think you should be going around calling yourself a rapper if you have a ghostwriter, though. I think if you call yourself a performer and you have a ghostwriter, that's perfectly fine, though. All right, so we're gonna get into our last few questions here. I want you to explain your step-by-step process of making music.
My step-by-step process in making music. All right. Well, first I got to get inspired because I can't work. I'm not finna like get like. I feel like that's problem with most like a lot of these cats out right now. Cats. Oh my god, that sounds old as hell. I think that's the problem with a lot of these new rappers or whatnot. Like they don't get inspired. They just like go and do something. You feel me? I can't do anything unless I'm inspired. You know, and it's not even new stuff that inspires me. It's like I be listening to old things and I'd be like, that sound nice. What? Hold on, what was that? What was the sound in that beat? And what you feel me? Like it's stuff like that. I'd be like, okay, okay. And so it's like that. And so once I get inspired, I go and I'd be like, I want to try to give off this same feeling without copying. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, I just start writing and whatnot, and then it takes me like, to be honest with you, it used to take me like a month to write lyrics, but now I can like if I focus, I could probably get something done in like a week. You feel me? And so that's how long it takes me to write. I know I see some people they be like, man, I could write something down in a day and stuff. I'd be like, oh well, I want my stuff to be like neat. You feel me? I want all 16 bars to be memorable. You feel me?
Right.
And so after I write it down, you know, I send it out. You feel me? To see what other people think. And once I get their input, depend on what they say and how I feel, you know, I'll make changes. Like if I feel like, oh no, this is perfect already, like I don't want to change that. I got that there for a reason. I won't change it. And so once I get that back, I'll be like, okay, I'm ready, and I go in and I lay it down.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay. So, have you ever officially recorded before? I know you done made beats before. I done heard the beats before, and they was pretty cool.
Right.
But what about the recording process of a song? How do you work on the flow? Is this all in your head, or do you just go in and just start recording different type of flows, see how you feel about it? Like how do you handle that?
First, I do the flow in my head first. You feel me? I make the beat first, and then like I used to write lyrics first, and then make the beat to match my lyrics. But I'm like, nah, this is way too hard, bro. And so I write first, and then no, I make the beat, then I write. And so when I'm writing, I'll be like, man, what kind of flow would gain the attention, you know, to make people want to listen to it? Because like I don't want to make a song that people like listen to one time, be like, oh, okay, that's cool. I want you to like keep listening to it. I want it to be like crack, except for it don't hurt you, right? and so yeah, I do that, and I'll be like, all right, this flow nice. I'm gonna use this. Because another thing, I don't want all my songs to sound the same. You feel me?
Right.
And so I feel like, so I figure out, and I'm like, okay, all right, I like this one. And so, you know, it's record like multiple times. You know, think about it, rap it to myself multiple times. Like, okay, I like that.
Okay. All right, and you know what? I just really, really want to thank you for the time and the interview. It was perfect. We're probably gonna talk for another 5 hours after this one, but let's just get this one up. But first, before we leave, got anything to plug? A Twitter, a YouTube, a Instagram, whatever the case may be. Go ahead and plug it.
And my Twitter at the Don J. My Instagram Jalen Media. That's why I'm gonna start uploading all my art as well as my music. My SoundCloud, Jalen Michael. Michael, it's spelled Jaylyn. Michael Mickel. And my mixtape is coming out soon, called Route 90. It's a long story behind that, but yeah, it's coming soon. And I also want to send a shout out to you know, I just want to kind of say, you know, it's terrible what's going on in America as well. You know, with police killing black people and whatnot. And I just, you know, I pray every day that we're gonna make it to like a better plight. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's it. Thank you again, everybody. Enrico Hampton, J Lyric. Follow him on everything. He is the future of this industry.
All right, thank you.
Great interview with my boy Jay Lyric. He'll definitely be back on the program. Hopefully, when the guy goes ahead and releases some music highly anticipated by many, and wishing the best on that. Anyways, let's get into the next topic. That topic being wrestling is fake. Oh my God, I had no clue. Honestly, man, this has been a topic I've had to deal with my whole life, and it's such an idiotic topic. It's so stupid. But I feel the need to talk about it simply because I've been dealing with it for so long. You know what I'm saying? I've always been a wrestling fan. If you know me, if you just scroll through my YouTube channel, it's like straight wrestling videos, and that's fine. I love professional wrestling. That comes before anything. That is my first love. Wrestling, pro wrestling. So, I get a lot of flack because people are like, well, you know it's fake, right? Or, oh, it's fake, it's not real, it's not legit. Oh, it's predetermined, blah, blah, blah. It makes no sense because I think people are so stupid that they forget that it's a television program. And you know, I don't really understand how people could sit there and be like so jaded to the fact, see guys, they out there, they doing all these cool moves, these flips and slams, and they cutting these great promos and it's highly entertaining, and be like, yeah, it was not real. Duh, stupid. It's professional wrestling. I mean, personally, I say wrestling is scripted. I don't really like to use the word fake, and I'll tell you why. Because you get hurt way too much in the world of professional wrestling to be called a fake, a phony. You know what I mean? These guys endure real pain. They out there every night. I mean, if I could grab a chair right now and I could hit you in the back with it, I could hit you in the face with it, and it's going to hurt. If I put you through the table, it's going to hurt. If I slam you on on that mat, which people think is some type of trampoline or think is just all foamed and gimmicked up, it's been plenty of times in professional wrestling where the guys have as spots. For people who don't watch professional wrestling, it's this thing called spots. Well, basically they was like, all right, we're gonna do this. Anyways, we're gonna do this during our match. But anyways, it's certain spots where wrestlers will like rip the ring apart, and they'll take the mat off, and you get to see what's under there. It's the mat. It's the mat, and it's a very, very thin layer of foam. And then under that is wood. So let me slam you on that thing 20 times and see if you can get back up. Ask guys like Mick Foley, who's lost their ear, well, half of their ear, you know what I'm saying? Multiple concussions. Guys like Nigel McGuinness, who can never do anything physical again. Guys like Daniel Bryan, who can really never do anything physical again. Guys like Edge, who can never do. Edge's neck is basically metal at this point. So again, you know, guys like Owen Hart, guys like Del Perro, guys like Tasawa, people who died in the ring. Ask somebody like Seth Rollins, who got knee problems right now, tearing his ACL. Vince McMahon, who tore both of his quads in the same night at the same time, got back up and walked out of the arena. I don't know how he did that, but he did. So to say wrestling is fake is pretty asinine and ignorant on the part of anybody who says so. Now, to continue this, you got guys like I don't know, like hardcore MMA fans, hardcore boxing fans, and these are usually the meat of the people who hate professional wrestling. And that's because it's fake, I guess. But they fail to realize that wrestling has a major influence on the world of boxing, on the world of MMA especially. Like, I mean, you think about it. Muhammad Ali built his fights the same way superstar Billy Graham did. If you look at Conor McGregor is Irish Ric Flair. Ronda Rousey took Roddy Piper's nickname, of Rowdy Ronda Rousey or whatever. So it's heavily influenced by the world of professional wrestling. And these guys, these combat sports athletes love wrestling. They always at the wrestling shows. They always cutting wrestling promos to build their fights. They always coming out to wrestling theme songs. Like Conor McGregor, again, walking like Vince McMahon, doing the Vince McMahon strut. It's heavy in professional wrestling. It's a group in UFC. It's a group of women, and they call themselves the Four Horsewomen, which is basically the same group Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen was. It was a group back in the NWA days of professional wrestling. They were a faction. They were all great, whatever. So again, and another thing for people who just television watchers in general, wrestling is fake, it's not entertainment, it's fake, is that these guys are phonies, blah, blah, blah. It's not like I'm going to watch, I don't know, The Walking Dead. And I'll be like, that zombie ain't fake. I'll be like, that zombie ain't real. That's fake. Oh, look at that makeup. It's so terrible. Oh, he not biting his skin off for real. It's stupid. It's really stupid. And don't get me started with reality television, the most scripted programs on television. I mean, I tried to watch, what's the show? Love and Hip Hop, right? I tried. Anyway, so I'm watching this, and I know because I'm in the media industry, so I know what's real and what's not real. I can tell right off the bat. And this is a reality television show, and it was confusing me mainly because of the way it was filmed. It's a reality television show, but it was shot like a regular TV show. So you see a dude, he walking. I remember when by the way, I remember when reality television was good. It was good when you had the Flavor of Love and you had all the dating shows and stuff. And it was no like every camera angle. When you walk in a room, dude walking slow motion, this, that, and the other. No, it wasn't so cinematic as it is now. And you could tell this is scripted because if you look at the confessionals, because these individuals are not good actors. If you look at their confessionals, like they'll be outside 1 second, and they'll cut to their confessional where they're talking about the situation they're currently in right now. It's scripted. You could tell they are reading off a teleprompter by the way they speak. So that's fake. But I just want people to really lay off on professional wrestling because I think at the end of the day, people don't get what it's supposed to be, and what people don't get, people proceed to bash rather than do the smart thing and shut up. And the thing about professional wrestling is it's just entertainment. You got a story, you got a couple of guys, and the combination of it is for those two to just go out and have a match. And that's it. It's a simple formula. Not that simple if you're working for them and you're writing 52 weeks every week, new content for a 3-hour program. But it's not to be taken so seriously. And I feel like the people who hate professional wrestling or look down upon it as if it's the black sheep of entertainment need to lay off, relax a little bit, because it's not that serious. I'm Ahmed Muhammad. This is the Big Meer Podcast. I'll see y'all next week. Professional wrestling is life.